What? He walks behind me and leans in, his arms hanging over my chest and around my neck. What's going on? What the hell is this? He's a little heavy. I wouldn't normally mind it, but it's hard to breathe with him on top of me. Yep, it fits just how I remembered. Uncanny, really? He mutters something under his breath and I can't quite make out. Hey, Gray. I breathe in a little louder, then intended and squeak out a reply. Yeah? You don't have to sleep on the couch anymore. Not if you don't want to. My bed is big enough for both of us. I don't know how to respond. The idea sounds lovely, but right now I feel overwhelmed by the weight of his body crushing me. I choke out another reply. What was that sound? Was that a zipper? Are you sure? Right as I start feeling lightheaded, he eases off of me and fixes my collar, smiling innocently. Hospitality is the #1 priority at El Casa de Mark. Question, what was that zipper sound? Was that the cause for alarm? Is Mark some kind of a creep? He unlocks the door and waves me over. Come along then. Big days ahead of us. I sigh in relief and follow him out, trying not to think about whatever that was. Oh, hello. Oh, that's Simone! Interesting. We're finally gonna get to see who these other friends he has. So please don't look for me. I don't want to be found. I love you all. Gray. So what do you think? What do you make of this? That's gotta be the most half-assed suicide note I've ever laid eyes on. Right? It doesn't sound like him at all. And the handwriting is sloppy too. Both these things usually require multiple attempts. Trash can's empty, so I guess he rushed it. I don't think he's actually suicidal, but... What if he's serious? What if he is? He's grown. It's his choice. And? We both know he'd probably just run away again. A chicken-hearted guy like him couldn't go through with offing himself. Then we should go out and find him before he gets too far. No. What is wrong with you? He's our... Listen, Simon. I know you like having him around, but we're not kids anymore. This ain't playtime. Let's be honest with ourselves. He's a mooch. He's taking advantage of your kindness, as well as John's greed. Maybe he ran on back to his daddy crying and fussing. Got tired of pretending to be a city boy and running around with... Maybe he just needed some distance from you. It wasn't easy for him to focus on work with you coming around all the time. You say that, but aren't we in the same boat? Oh, I remember. How you could stop crying after he and I got together. Huh? What? He... Really? Gray broke your heart, Simon. That's in the past. I moved on. Then maybe the past is where he should stay. This could be good for both of us. He left a note because he wants to be found. His heart isn't in it. I know it. At least I know I'd want someone to try and find me. You never give up, do you? Well, the storm ain't letting up anytime soon. We should get going now before he does anything stupid. Well, more stupid than this. And... Right, let's go. And we're back in 1966. We hop in the elevator and start the minute-and-a-half long trip down. So, what are you showing me first? Well, you're new here, so I wanted to show you the staples of the city. Empire State, Statue of Liberty, all that jazz. The doors open and we head outside. Mark manages to wave down a taxi rather quickly and we pile in. First stop, Times Square. After that, the Empire State's a short walk over. Swell, a twofer. What's Times Square like? Imagine it. Rows of bright flashing neon light as far as the eye can see. Billboards the size of buildings. See thrilling stage shows at the Broadway Theater. His eyes sparkle with admiration. I nodded his every word, hardly able to contain myself, waiting to arrive at these promised lands. I'm no stranger to an urban landscape, but New Orleans is nothing like this. From what I've seen, this city seems to ooze culture and opulence out of every alley. His singing voice wasn't bad either, a smoky tenor that resonated pleasantly throughout our tiny carriage. His deep voice was, and no doubt, partly due to the cigarettes I recall him smoking in that strange place back when we first met. It occurs to me that he's refrained from lighting up since I've joined him. Perhaps he's quitting for his New Year's resolution. I remember how on edge Edion was when he tried to quit and shudder. His temper's short enough as it is. The guy practically bit our heads off anytime we asked how it was going. When Ed wanted to hurt someone, he went for the throat every time. That last fight, if Simon wasn't there too. Oh God! Suddenly the taxi screeches to a halt and the driver flicks the ticker off. Here you guys are! That'll be $175, pal! Mark throws much more than the required amount through the collection window as we leap into the world. We're here, Times Square. What adventure awaits? Wow! Live girls, peekaboo! Erotica, canine, feline, avian foxes. 42nd Street Snickers. Oh yeah, after a little bit of fun, we're gonna have a little shoe shopping. What the hell is this? The streets are a little bit trash and almost no people are out. A bitter wind whizzed up through the narrow street and I tucked my head in, pulling the collar of my new coat over my sensitive ears. I had only just recovered my previous bout with frostbite and my fleshly bits were still pretty raw. Mark notices and pulls me closer, locking arms with me and stuffing his hand into my pocket to cover mine. Do you mind if I steal a little heat? I shake my head. His hand was pretty warm and I think I was actually the one benefiting from it. I expected more people. Well, it is a Monday. Maybe if we walk a little further up. As we stroll down the icy sidewalk, I look to my left. I see some of those neon signs Mark was raving about earlier. Girls, girls, girls! I like big girls, itty bitty girls, Mississippi girls, and little bitty girls. XXX, peep show. Ooh! A curvy feline wearing only an overcoat and heels beckons an old badger into one of the shops. He looks around suspiciously before sliding off a ring and darting inside. A few bums lay outside, slump over in various states of undress, drinking out of bottles covered by brown paper bags. One is pantless and fully splayed, ooh, easily jerking himself up in broad daylight. With lock eyes and he smiles at me with all four of his remaining teeth. Hey, Toots! Looking for something to thumb in that big old snout of yours? No. He laughed and helicopters his filthy dick at me. You spin my head right round. I got me an all-day sucker right here, pal. Mark pulls me aside and flips the background off before turning back to me with an exasperated look on his face. Are you sure this is the same Times Square you were talking about, Mark? Well, let's walk down this way instead. Less scenic, but much safer. We about face and start jogging down the avenue. Mark pulls me along so hard I almost eat dirt tumbling over a snowbank. Hey, so slow down a bit. Yes, of course. I meant to drop us off. Yes, of course. I meant to drop us off on 7th, not 8th. Silly me. We're almost there. We round the corner so fast I almost knocked into a trash can. Ah, here we go. Okay, here we are, the theater district. I'm excited recalling the private show Mark just gave me. The idea of seeing big time stars on Broadway. In other words, did we just went to the red light district? The idea of seeing big time stars on Broadway instead of randoms in the dingy club made me giddy. Unless it was Simone, of course. She always knocked it out of the park. We walk past the concert hall and I run over the listings. Who's playing? Gershwin? Afraid he's been dead for quite some time. Ouch. Okay, of all the shocks to my system, that one hurts the most. I see it lists one Barbara Streisand. No clue who that is, so I move on towards the playbills. Alright, well, who's big right now? Is Tallulah Bankhead still performing? Oh no. I feel so bad for Gray. He's so old school that Marcus be like, oh, you silly little 1910s. Okay, now I know you weren't lying yesterday. Sheesh. I told you. It looks like all that's playing is a matinee of Sweet Charity. You know Foss? He does a jazzy little gesture with his hands. No, but I hope he sees a doctor about that, Tick. Oh, hello. One night only, the impeccable Barbara Streisand. He chuckles and we round the corner to the main square. There's more people around now. None of them of the hobo flasher variety. Well, here it is, the source of all postcards. I look up expecting to see the sea of dazzling lights Mark described. Billboards the size of my house and dancing neon. I'll give him one thing. The lights are on. But it's 11 in the morning. It looks better at night. You don't say. I feel bad. I could easily imagine how great this would look in the dark. But after seeing how sketchy the regulars are, I wouldn't want to stick around to see them. Great. I hear music and my ears perk up. Someone with a guitar is playing for tips down the block, and I veer off in that direction. Mark whines, upset that things aren't going to plan. Come on, it's something at least. I guess. He concedes and we keep walking. The guitarist is a horse wearing a cowboy hat, playing folk songs for a growing crowd of people. The music wasn't anything special, but his voice was nice, and I found myself tapping my feet. This isn't so bad. At least we don't have to wait in line. See? I told you. Ow! Suddenly a rat, also in a cowboy hat, rushes up behind him and knocks the horse to the ground. The guitar smashes on the ground, string snapping with a discordant twang. You son of a... You stole my act! The crowd gasps. What? David, who the hell do you think you are? He starts wrestling on the ground, knocking the tip jar over. Some of the crowd flees in terror while others scramble to pick up the loose change. Fists start to fly and eventually some cops run out of a nearby coffee shop, breaking up the fight after landing a few hits of their own. Alright, you two, you got it out of your systems. Congratulations, you just bought yourself a hotel ticket to the countiest cell in Rikers. He roughly handcuffed them behind the back and herded them down the street. The canine cop knocks the rat to the floor, laughing as he struggles to get out without the use of his arms. He's a bloody mess. His lips busted and both eyes swelled shut. It's hard to tell whether it's from that squabble or the arrest. The cops pass by us and shoot me a dirty look. I must have been giving one back. The feline cop pushes the husky onto his partner and sizes me up. You got something to say, Vermin? Marsupial, actually. Before he can respond, Mark steps in between us and nudges me in the opposite direction. We don't want any trouble. He turns and whispers to me, not making eye contact with the officer. Let's get out of here. I nod, still scowling at the fat cat who's pressing a hand on his nightstick. The other, a pit bull, keeps his eyes trained on us as well. Have a nice day, sir. There's palpable venom on that last word. Cat grunts and walks away from us. I hear the rat squeak behind me, followed by the slam of a car door as we escape unscathed. If he had so much as looked sideways at Mark, maybe it's just I've given him a piece of my mind. I don't think I'd win the fight. Of course not. They're cops in New York. Well, maybe. I just have given him a piece of my mind. I don't think I'd win that fight. Probably wouldn't do me any good if I get locked up on my second day anyway. I'm not surprised at this aggression from the police at all. Whatever small amount of privilege the possums have from our pale faces is meaningless against unabashed racists with power. Mark's fists are shaking as I follow him through the crowd. You walk in. Why are we here again? Are you saying we're back at the freaking cafe? We walk. Someone said yeah. We walk in silence for a while. The mood has shifted so much in just a few minutes, and the day had only just begun. I can tell Mark is in a bad mood by how fast he's walking, not even checking if I'm still behind him. I feel a little bad, even though it was ultimately out of our control. Mark mutters something under his breath. Just had to go see the dog and pony show, huh? What? I jog a bit to catch up with him and try to get his attention. I have to practically step in front of him, but eventually he stops and sighs himself. Mark, stop! He stops walking and stares at the ground, unable to look at me. I wasn't trying to cause problems. That cup was just such a... No, it's not that. You were right to be upset. They were assholes. Then why are you... It's nothing! Look, we just came on an off day, that's all. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Okay, sure. Neither of us are to blame, though. It happens sometimes. He finally looks at me with a concerned expression. I just... Need a smoke. Huh? I chuckle and pantomime puffing on an imaginary cigarette. I know you smoke, Mark. I can smell it all over your clothes. The apartment. Maybe your breath, if I'm lucky. Well, I didn't want to impose. Mark, it's fine. Everyone I know smokes cigarettes. I'm used to it. He sighs, pulling a loose one out from his pocket. Nikko's breast pocket. I just felt bad smoking around you all the time. It's hard on the lungs, you know. Huh? But my doctor smokes. So does mine. After a flash from his lighter, he takes a deep drag and smoke bellowing out of his nostrils like twin dragons. Phew! Anyway, that's not what I was going to say. What then? I just really wanted to impress you. You already have. Besides, you can't control the entire city. There are weirdos everywhere. He nods, but doesn't seem convinced. I place a hand on his shoulder and give it a gentle squeeze. We still have 2 sides to see. The day is young. Come on, don't give up. They're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. His eyes brighten and he smiles back quickly. He puts out his cigarette and cranes his head, looking at the street signs. Well, in that case, we're already on the 33rd. We just have to walk down onto 5th Avenue, and we'll be at the Empire State Building. He points up at the giant building that's been looming over us the whole day. I even saw it from Mark's apartment, miles away from here. Unlike the other skyscrapers I've seen, it doesn't instill the same primal sense of fear in me. Despite being the tallest, something about it being that big just makes sense cosmically, like Big Ben or the Eiffel Tower. We approach the base and there are small groups of people scattered about, some taking pictures while others simply gawk at it. Let's get a better look, shall we? I nod and walk over to the doors. I stand as close to them as I can and look straight up. Fuck, that's trippy. I can't even see the top anymore. Mark comes to join me and chuckles. Would you believe the elevator to the top takes less time than my buildings? There's no way that's true. Wait, does it? Only one way to find out. I feel a tap on my shoulder and turn around to see a mouse dressed in what looks like a bellhop's uniform, only with a military-style cap. Welcome to the world's tallest building. Would you like a photo? We glance at each other and nod in unison. I love mementos like these, even if it'll take a while to get the film developed. Alright, you two. Stand right on this button. Perfect. And then after that, stolen! Say cheese. 1, 2, 3. Good job! Look at Gray. It's like, oh. I'm seeing stars. I was expecting that little camera to have such a big flash. So where do we get to pick up the photos? As I say this, I notice a white square come out of the front of it. Oh, it's that kind. She pulls it out and starts shaking it. Just give me a minute here and it'll be good to go. Huh? Aren't Polaroids great? Yeah, totally. Gray, are you saying you've never taken an instant photo before? I guess I am. Yeah, is that weird? I'm never going to get used to the upgrading technology, but shouldn't Mark find my reactions a little strange? Nah. And either way, now you have. That was a little too easy. The guide hands me the photo and runs off, spotting under the group who just arrived. Wow, a color model too. Not too shabby. Let me take a look. He hangs over me and I angle it so he can see. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. Oh. Just look at the boys. Oh, it really is instant. And in color. It's like a mini painting. And I showed up in it. Yet it's only reflection that are affected. Yeah, kind of weird, no? Yeah, he has problems with his reflections earlier, and now? When taking a photo and it's okay? What does that mean? What does that mean? I should have thought of that before, actually. It's gonna ruin everything if it ended up showing Mark standing alone. Yeah, isn't it weird that all of a sudden, when his picture will be taken and then the tour will be like, "Sir, why can't the camera take your photo?" At least I know what I look like now. Not ideal, but not a wreck either. Mark looks good though. No surprise. Ah, hello! Mark pockets the photo we had inside of the lobby. Everything is made of marble and brass, and the Art Deco designs fit perfectly with the color scheme. Welcome! First time here? Yes, actually. I have a question. Of course, ask away. I look around to make sure Mark's not in earshot. I see him admiring some framed photos and on the other side of the room, so I think I'm in the clear. I lean in to whisper. Is it true? Go on. That they used to land dirigibles? Dirigibles on the roof of this building? The man I came with kept insisting it the whole way here. The Martin laughs, elbowing his coworker in jest as she chuckles along with him. Oh boy, a sucker's born every minute. Excuse me? He wipes a tear away and reaches under the desk, pulling out the photo to show me. I gasp. It shows a blimp almost the length of the building, docking at the top. Some wise guy docked at this back in the 1930s and got a rumor going. Sure, there were talks about it, but it's obviously a terrible idea. Aircrafts and tall buildings don't mix. I nod, wondering if Mark was pulling my leg or genuinely believed the rumor. I think the attendant walked over to the sitting area. Mark standing by, staring at the schematics of the building's construction. I'd seen plenty of those in my dad's workshop. Contractors would bring over plans and go over the required materials piece by piece before they'd settle on the price. Are you a fan of blueprints? Yep! They have this lovely mathematical quality to them. Where art meets function, you know. There's a piece in our museum's vault that have begged Mr. Cartwright to put for auction, but he just won't budge. That's a bummer. Yes, well, I have a plan. I asked Lauren, she's the head of the conservation department, to select it for our holiday party's charity auction. Wow, can't she do that? Technically, her role as event coordinator overrides our boss, since the auction is being funded by a non-profit organization. It's foolproof. He smiles slyly, clearly proud of his master plan come together. I guess Mark can be a little conniving when he needs to be. I don't mind as long as he doesn't try to use that big brain to mess with me. Well, we've seen everything in the lobby. What's next? He points at a row of gilded elevators behind me. Only way is up. Come on. We head into one of the elevators and, to my surprise, it has an attending waiting inside. Guess it's not a dead career after all. Observation deck, please. The door closed and the machine lurches upward faster than expected. I'm imagining the floors that must be zipping by second, and grip the handrail, feeling dizzy. I was wrong. This is still terrifying. Big buildings are bad. Oh, jeez, are you alright? You know what else makes me feel better? What? On the trip back down, you can jump and get some hang time for a second. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, very cool. This was a terrible idea. I'm seriously close to losing my lunch. Oh. Thankfully, I feel the elevator stop and the door is open. I walk out and get hit with a blast of cold air. The strong wind practically pushing me back into the car. Oh god, we're outside. Why are we outside? Come on, you can see the whole city from here. I cling against the wall for my dear life. We're on the roof. The top floor. I couldn't even see from the ground. I'm dizzy. From this perspective, it looks like we're floating in the sky. All the other buildings are gone. Mark bravely walks out towards the flimsy looking guardrail to take a look. Mark? Be careful. Don't worry. Come on, let's try to find my house. Even just imagining looking down from there sends a shiver through my body, and I slide down the wall to the cold floor. I don't think that's a great idea. Whew, oh man, what a rush! Can you believe they used to land blimps up here? Help! Huh? Oh! He runs back over and helps me up. I can't help. Oh, he fainted! I can't help but cling to his sleeves like a child. It feels like the next strong breeze will knock me off the side and send me tumbling to my death. Why didn't you tell me you were afraid of heights? I've never been this high up before. What about a plane? You've never flown on a plane? No! I'm getting annoyed. Why is he making this sound like my fault again? I just want to get the hell off of this room before I pass out. I'm going back down. Sorry, I can't do this. Hey, it's fine. Let's go together, okay? I nod and we wait for the elevator to come back up. He stands behind the shields me from the wind with his broad back, his long arms caging me in like a safety net. It works, and thankfully the next elevator is also empty. We rush in and ride back down. Mark resists trying out his hang time trick and continues to rub my back until we reach the ground floor. Solid earth. I'm shivering as I walk by the welcome booth. The Martin shoots Mark a dirty look, silently accusing him of traumatizing me. He mouths, "Sorry," and holds the door open. I race out of the building and walk over to a trash can, hacking up all the spit that had formed from my pre-vomit-induced stretching. Mark waits patiently for me by the door, looking upset once again. Alright, so this didn't go very well either. At least I can brag to everyone back home that I stood 102 stories high and lived. Ha 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 ha! Edian will just be impressed. I didn't try to jump off. When I can breathe easy again, I walk over to the big lug and gently punch his shoulder. Hey, I feel a lot better now, thanks. Thanks? I'm the one that put you through this in the first place. I feel awful. Wait a minute! If he can't stand the height of the Empire State Building, then he may not stand the Statue of Liberty if you climb up inside her. Oh no. This one's on me, alright. Just no more tall buildings. Not even my house? One exception. He straightens up and rewards me with another big smile. I guess we don't have to go to the top of the Statue of Liberty then. I gulp, knowing that another surprise like that would have fully sent me over the edge. Maybe we should just skip that for now, as fun as that sounds. Well, that was the final stop on our tour. What else do you want to do? That! Before I can answer, my stomach growls. Lunch will be nice. I could go for some chow too. Let me find a phone and I'll call up one of my usual places for a reservation. Wow, a reservation? Seems awfully fancy for a casual day out, but I guess this is just how Mark operates. Back at the manor, we had cooks fixing our meals, but lunch was hardly even more than soup or a sandwich. We walk a few blocks and find a public phone booth. Mark thumbs in on Nikko and whips out a little notebook full of phone numbers. What are you feeling like? A French? Italian? Maybe Asian fusion? French sounds good. It's the only one I'm really qualified to judge. Edian and John cook up a mean Cajun fry every Sunday after church, but every now and then they try some authentic French recipes from cookbooks. French sounds good. It's the only one I'm really qualified to... Hey! What? The French sounds good. It's on the only... Okay. What happened? Hello, Evans? Yes, it's Mark. I'm... What do you mean there's a private party? I've been dining with you for 8 years now. Surely you can find me Excuse me? You want to say that one again? Oh, really? Well, up yours too, pal. What's happening? He slams the receiver down so hard it rattles the windows and storms out, leaning against the booth with his arms crossed, scrambling to pull out another cigarette. No dice. I believe they couldn't get us a single table all day. If Reynard had picked up, he would have found us something. Flick, drag, exhale. I think Mark smokes just to relieve stress. No clue who this jackass was, either. Must have been some new hire who didn't get the memo. Well, they just lost a loyal customer. Come on, it's not worth blacklisting the damn place over. It won't be the first place I blacklisted. Or rather, who blacklisted me. But I guess you're right. We still have to eat, don't we? I could try the blue bungalow in Central Park. Central Park? The idea of sitting through another angry call fills me with dread. I hook my arm through Mark's to tug him along and I start to walk. Hey, what are you? Let's just look around. We could try something new. I don't know, anything around here? Yeah, something new. Where's your spirit of adventure? I left it at home. No! Mark, come back! Oh no! Mark is so depressed of what's happening today that he feels so out of it. I ignore his whining and sniff around, hoping my strongest sense can find us some grub. It was hard to smell past Mark's smokiness, but eventually something sticks out. Savory, fried, creamy. Soda candy luncheonette! I follow my nose and end up at a row of various shops that form a larger luncheonette. Gruff day laborers are waiting in line to grab a quick bite, as well as a few businessmen. Mark's basically a ragdoll at this point, and I pull him over, trying to find the source of the scent. Store by store. I quickly find it. Dana's Polished Kitchen. Let's try this place. I've never had a polished food before. From this dump? I don't want us to get sick. He says that a little too loudly, a few shop owners shooting annoyed glances our way. I wince and try to smile back to let them know I'm on their side. Where is this snobbishness in Mark coming from? Did he forget the little hole in the wall he took me to yesterday? I see him tapping his foot, eager to leave. Trust me, the best food is always from small places like this. Look at all these people. It can't be that bad. Oh, alright. I ordered a few peerages and some kielbasa to start with. They sound the most familiar, and I don't want to risk getting something risky when Mark's being so difficult. Alright, that'll be $1.85. Oh, you don't have money! Let me out my wallet. There's about 70 cents and a free drink voucher for Jean's bar that will be beyond expired by now. I feel so bad. Mark, save the day. You're the rich one. 1 sec. Hey, could I borrow $2? $2, sorry. Hey, huh? Oh, sure. He reaches into a coat pocket and hands me a few crumpled bills. There's at least 6 in here. Guess this is just spare change for him. I grab what I need and run back to pay for our order before sitting down across from him. I should have guessed you won't have any cash on you. My bad. It's alright. Hey. Yes? You wanna know something funny? Sure. I'm actually having a great time. How? It's been a complete disaster. No, it hasn't. Do you wanna know why? Enlighten me. I gently boop his nose and giggle as his ears flick wildly in confusion like... What? Because I'm spending it with you, wise guy! Oh, that's enough to make up for almost giving you a heart attack? Even a shitty day can be fun if you spend it with a friend. So, you really think of us as friends then? I can hear his tail thumping against the bench as it wags ferociously. I do. But you'll have to make it through this meal or I'll start questioning my taste in acquaintances. Deal? Okay, I'll try. For you. There's the Mark I recognize. Phew! He shifts moods so quickly. Staying on his good side is going to be key to this all working out. A few minutes later, a man brings our food on plastic trays. The presentation is lacking, but it smells incredible. 6 cheese protégés, ooh, each with sour cream and applesauce for dipping. And 2 long coiled sausages. My mouth is watering already. We dig in, and I fall in love immediately. Savory fried dough with salty cheese, sweet caramelized onions, and a hint of sour from the cream makes this perfect combination for a hearty meal during these harsh winter months. I work my way over to the kielbasa, and I'm surprised by the smoky flavor and the slight heat. Nothing close to andouille or anything in a Cajun kitchen, but enough to be appreciated. I hear Mark moaning into his food, clearly echoing my sentiments. Holy f***, this is good! And it was so cheap! I can't stop eating. Poland, I'm so sorry about World War II. You deserve better. I have no idea what that means, but yes, justice for Poland. I almost get up to order more, but I don't want to get sick of something so lovely. We quickly polish off our plates and polish off our plates like and leave the trays at the front. The catcher gives us a knowing smirk, having witnessed a religious experience. I thank him and we walk out. Belly's full and moods greatly improve. I check the clock on a nearby lamppost and see it's only 4 o'clock. The light's already starting to dim and I feel pretty tired having been on my feet the whole day. I hear Mark yawn and imagine he slept even less than I did, probably having been woken up by me after I wandered to his bedroom during my nightmare. That nightmare! Hey, feeling tired yet? Yeah, a little. Might have just been the food, but I'm about ready to head home. Me too. Your couch is sounding really good right about now. It does sound good. I spot a subway station and recall seeing the same line not far from his apartment. Hey, why don't we take the train? I'm curious about the subway. He looks at the station and then back to me. His nose crunched up with disgust. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, just about anybody can ride those things. Remember your little encounter with the friendly flasher? It's how most of New York gets around, no? Surely it's... Gray, you're with me now. You don't have to put yourself in dangerous situations anymore. I'll get us a cab. But... He ignores my protest and walks to the curb. He gets ignored by a few cats and starts to get pissed off again. Oh no! God damn it, I guess it wasn't the cigarettes after all. I thought we'd made some progress, but all it takes is one little mishap to set him off. And when he's like that, he says things that are completely out of character. Especially that comment about people who ride the train. He was speaking so charitably about the homeless yesterday, now he doesn't want to risk riding at the same car as one? Did he reach out to me for another reason? Actually, yes! Was that whole thing an act to gain my trust? I mean, kind-hearted or not. You don't bring strangers home without a good reason. Oh, now you finally caught on, Mr. Gray. You finally caught on to his little tactic. I thought it was the hugging in the living room. And so readily accepting all the odd things I say by accident. Surely that must have set off some red flags by now. 20 minutes pass and the sun's practically set. He manages to finally hail us a taxi, overworking through a few cigarettes while pacing in circles angrily, reluctantly scooting next to Mark, so he's sternly giving the cabbie directions. I start to zone out, the calming purr of the engine putting me into a trance once again. Mark's voice, now hoarse from yelling, begins to fade out. The f just happened? Where are we? Why are we in the forest? What is going on? I walk across the damp, mossy moorland guided by moonlight. It's a cool night and the fireflies seem to curtsy at me before continuing their intricate dance. I use my staff to pull myself up into a nearby ledge, the tiny bells adoring into softly echoing throughout the clearing. The sky is full of glistening stars and I sit in my newly found perch, gazing upward to the beauty the Great Mother has provided for us. Suddenly, my whiskers twitch and I sense chaos rising in the distance. The trees are muttering to one another. Something is wrong. I pull myself up into my staff and sniff the air. Fire! It's coming from the south, down by the low. Wake up! We're back home. Got a slight crick in my neck. I slept a lot harder than intended. I'm surprised Mark didn't wake me up this time. I lazily follow him back to his apartment. and sprawl out on the couch, desperate to decompress from that roller coaster at tour. Mark hangs up our coats and heads to the bathroom, leaving me to relax alone. He hasn't spoken a word since we got back. Is he angry with me? At himself? I hear the shower turn on. Yes, I have some time to myself. The clock's ticking away and I feel like a kid waiting for his mom to pick him up from a play date. Only I have nowhere else to go. I wish Simon was here. She always knew how to keep things lively even during awkward moments. She refused to have a bad time and could diffuse any argument. Even the explosive ones me and Ed used to have, she had no stake in our relationship at all. I still took it upon herself to salvage our friendship, even after what I put her through. I wonder if she knew I kept seeing Ed after our breakup. Dude, are you serious? So you and Ed have something in common? I get butterflies in my stomach every time we met up with her after sneaking a quick fuck behind the work shed. Okay. Apparently, Ed and Gray have something good, yeah. Partly because I knew what we were doing was bad in the long run. Partly because I knew she thought our friendship was strong enough to keep us together even after our affair. And to think Christine would have ended up stuck with all this emotional baggage should I have gone along with that farce of a marriage my father put together. Ugh, I don't want to think about that. What to do? I could always rub one out. Right now? Really? Show us. Mark's still in the shower. I don't know how much time I have. I rub my hand over my junk and sink back to the couch, relaxing my muscles and taking a deep breath. It feels so taboo to do this in someone's living room. Should I stop? I mean, you can keep going. What's this? Timeline. Gray meets Virgil. Okay. Mark is born? Question mark? Gray meets Mark in New York. Okay. What's this? My diary. What is this? Another year's come and gone. It's hard to tell them apart lately. They all seem to blend together. I remember vague things here and there. Another trying day at work. Another infuriating headline in the paper. On a day in a world without blank. Heavens, what a terrible place I found myself in. At least the wine is good and plentiful. Cheers. Huh? Final words. Text log. To my loved ones. This is the one! This is the suicide note. To my loved ones, I'm sorry for disappearing without notice, but this is something that simply must be done without haste. I've been a terrible friend to you all. I've been nothing but a burden since I arrived back in town and complicated your already difficult lives. I've decided to take responsibility and end myself tonight. Simon, I'm sorry I couldn't have been a better lover. Idian, I'm sorry I couldn't become the man you saw in me all those years ago. Jean, I pray your next tenant will properly follow your code of conduct and pay their dues. I destroyed all traces of my former life, so please don't look for me. I don't want to be found. Love you all. Gray. Our day out on 12/27/1965. Is this what he felt when he went to the top of the Empire State Building? Or is it all anxiety? Sometimes bala, Gray is so weird. Keep going. Fuck it, I haven't got off in 3 days now. Just have to be sure not to make a big mess. I gently massage my cock over my pants and start to get hard. The rough fabric rubs against the head and I moan a little, biting down on my other hand to stifle my voice. I've been depressed for so long, I could even get hard when I wanted to. I can finally feel myself coming back to life, my senses returning. Everything feels so intense and new. I rub over it again and feel a warm trickle of pre-leak out. I don't want to stain my pants in an obvious spot, so I guess I should lose them. Uh-oh. Just as I start to unbutton my fly, I hear the bathroom door swing open and the plopping of wet paws against linoleum. I grab a pillow and quickly cover my crotches as Mark enters the room wearing that cute little robe again. Phew! Sorry about that. I just... Hey, you alright? Never better. Why? Oh, no reason. You look a little flushed. Do I? Weird. Did you want to jump in yourself? Water's still nice and hot. Thanks, but it's still a little early for me. I took one a few days ago. Few days? Ew. Musky critters like possums don't really need to wash head to toe often. The oils our body produce keep us getting balanced, and it takes a lot for us to really stink. As long as I wash the part that matter daily, you'll never know the difference. Of course, that's assuming you only stick around other possums. Ian always said he could smell me from 1,000 paces, and even gave me a bar of soap as a joke, birthday gift one year. Which is funny since he can't seem to keep his snout away from my ass. I look up at Mark. Yeah, I can tell you're the bottom. I look up at Mark and he nods, seemingly not disgusted at all. Makes sense. Trust me, I'll let you know if I thought you needed one. Thanks. It's hard to gauge how other species will take it. He chuckles and walks over to the kitchen, grabbing some wine glasses out of the cabinet. You're not the first possum I met, trust me. New York has every species you could imagine. You get used to everybody doing their own thing. He bends down and I hear the clinking of glass as he grabs a bottle of wine from somewhere. Besides, I enjoy a little extra spice every now and then. You smell good, Gray. I blush and kick my feet against the couch playfully. Well, you smell pretty good too. Did you put cologne on again right after a shower? Nope, they sell a bad scent at that scent. So I used the soap that came with it. I appreciate his attention to detail. In the animal world, having a signature scent is a good way to stick out among your peers. I bet that drive for individuality helped him get where he is now. Everything about Mark is just so Mark. He uncorks the bottle and sets it out to breathe before sauntering back over to me. I figured we'll give it 20 minutes or so. Shame I couldn't fit a proper wine rack in here. But they stack nicely under the sink. I'm not that picky with wine. I left home before I could ever try the nice stuff. Oh? So you come from money after all? I had a feeling. I lean back with my hands behind my head and sigh. I'm not thrilled to talk about my family, but I'd come up eventually. Yeah, old money. But I gave that up a long time ago. Must have been for a good reason then. It was. Mark, you know I'm not from around here. Well, yeah, New Orleans in 1928, if I'm correct. Yeah, well, not exactly. I used to live north of the city. Ever heard of the Oak Field Plantation? He shakes his head. My family has owned it for generations and grew up in the manor there. We had a full custodial staff. Cooks, groundskeepers, anything you could imagine. So something pretty nasty must have happened for you to leave. It's not that simple. It's more like I realized our livelihood was only possible because my grandfather owned cattle as slaves. Everything I used to think was beautiful suddenly looked dirty, corrupted. What did you do? I tried to tell my sister how I felt. She usually stuck it out for me, but nobody in the family would listen. They were too concerned with our reputation. They were worried I would cause a big stink go against the politics of our conglomerates. So my father's solution was to force me to marry the daughter of an old oil baron. He threatened to cut me off completely if I didn't. Wow, did you even know the girl? No. And it wasn't not done out of love, of course. It would help the company's upcoming merger. I was content with staying a bachelor if it meant our family line would die out one day. So you ran? His words stung a little, though his tone was more remorseful than outright judgmental. I left because I was forced to play into my father's hand. It wasn't an easy decision. I feel Mark wrapping an arm around me again. It feels a little inappropriate after that last comment. Color me impressed. You stood up for yourself. That's a commendable act. It feels like he's babying me. Dear, I could tell from just a glance you were special. Boy, do I know how to pick him. Right. I can't keep doing this with him. I need to know something. I gently push his arm off of me, and look him in the eyes. Mark? Why did you let me come stay with you? He looks at me dumbfounded and blinks for a few seconds, unsure of how to answer. Why? You look like you needed my help. I have the means, so, And those bums we saw yesterday, they didn't need help? He crosses his arms and looks at me sternly, the corner of his mouth twitching. The ones that were making fools of themselves in front of that whorehouse? Yeah, they needed help. Professional help. That's not the point. What about me that made you trust me right away? I can't really put my finger on it. What's the point in asking me this now? I don't understand how any of this could seem normal to him. It's important because I need to know if I can trust you. Oh, this conversation. Okay. He scoffs and stands up, pacing around the couch. Trust me? What have I done? Gray, if you're comfortable, I'm sorry. Just tell me what I did so I can apologize. No, it's not like that. It's just... damn it. How can I make you understand that? Understand what? That it's dangerous to bring a stranger home when I live by myself? That you could be taking advantage of my kindness? Mark? That you have had every opportunity to rob me, kill me, rape me, and I would have only had myself to blame? Well, guess what? I know this is stupid. Please, don't yell, But if someone had just done that for Joshua, if I had just... He crumbles into the couch and starts sobbing to his hands. Okay, who's Joshua? Who is Joshua? I awkwardly reach out to comfort him, but retract, unsure of where our boundaries lie right now. So like that? I'm sorry. I want to help. I just don't know what to do. Please, tell me what's going on. You know what this needs? Music! He wipes his nose on his arm and takes a few deep breaths before shakily replying. No, you were right. You should know why. I didn't want to talk about it, but it happened 3 years ago. I had a brother, Josh. He wasn't great at much. School, work, girls. It always turned out the same for him. Our parents are impatient people. They saw one son excelling and the other being a drain on the resources on society. I nodded. I could easily relate, remembering how adept Jules was to playing her role in the family while I barely trailed behind. Even though it was a f*** up, I loved him. I mean, we're family. We're supposed to take care of each other, right? Yeah, in theory. He clears his throat and grips his knees tightly, steeling himself for what's come to next. It always hung around the wrong crowd. Our folks didn't like him bringing his friends home since they'd smoke and drink all night. It didn't help that he was stealing their money to buy pot. One night, they had just about had it. They kick him out with only the shirt on his back. Jesus, what did you do? His ears lower with his gaze and he looks away. I didn't do anything. I had been living on my own for years and had no idea what was going on with him. Parents didn't care to mention it to me either. Oh. I found out a few months later that when he surprised me in the lobby, he had lost a ton of weight and I could tell he was using something stronger than pot. So I took him in, cleaned him up, kept him fed. I was just happy to have my little bro back in my life. I even took him to the museum. He said he was so proud of me. I wish I have said it back. I have said it back. Not long after that, he reconnected with those friends and they got him hooked on speed. Oh, drugs. We were fighting one night. I said some things I shouldn't have. And he walked out on me. Out of his own accord, of course. I found out about his passing on New Year's morning a week later. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. He wipes a final tear away with his pinky and smiles. I'm the one who should be sorry. I didn't want to put all of that on you. I move closer and place a hand on his knee. No, I'm glad you did. I understand now. You really remind me of him at his best. I guess that's why. Seeing you out there like that, it felt like I'd be letting Josh die again. You didn't let him die. You did whatever you could to keep him alive. More than your parents did. I felt especially sore hearing about yet another case of parenting. I can imagine not caring if my child lived or died. Those people deserve eternal damnation if there even was such a thing. I stand up and head to the kitchen. Mark flips around with a confused woof. Gray? If there was ever a conversation that needed to be followed by wine, it's this one. I pour us 2 heavy glasses and walk over. We toast and I close my eyes to take a long, contemplative sip. It's fabulous wine, as expected. I hear Mark gulp the entire glass down and I shrug. It's been that kind of day. Suddenly he surprises me with a big hug. He burns his head into my shoulder and I feel warm tears soak through my shirt. I'm so sorry. For what? You're my guest. I shouldn't have made you feel uncomfortable. This whole day was... I gently push his snout up and press my forehead to his. Looking at his gentle amber eyes. I told you, I'm your friend, not your guest. Mark, See? I was right! Before I can finish, he plants his muzzle into mine and locks me into a tender kiss. On the second day, I taste the wine on his lips with a hint of ash. I'm so shocked that I can't pull away at first. I guess he needed the love, so give him the love! Kiss him back. I lean into it, careful not to spill my drink. So what kind of CG do we get? The fur on his snout is gritty, but not enough to be irritating. His stubby whiskers tickle against mine. His breath is hot, and he moans into my mouth. I place a hand on his chest and grab a fistful of soft, shaggy fur. I slowly move my fingers down toward his nipples, knowing they're hidden in that sea of orange. I find my target and feel a shudder run through his spine. Oh, boy, Gray, you're gonna be the top in this story? He responds by caressing the back of my neck, using the other hand to slowly unbutton my shirt. Ooh, time slows as we make out his long canine tongue. No, what? No CG? You have CG for the horror scenes. What? Not this? His long canine tongue dances with mine and I feel something firm rubbing against my leg. It's getting hard. And so am I. I tap his shoulder and pull back slowly, a string of saliva connecting our lips. What's wrong? Nothing. This is just a little fast. Oh, right. Of course. He sits up and straightens his robe out, strategically covering his lap with the extra fabric. Embarrassing. The wine must have... Yut! They stopped! Weak! Embarrassing. The wine must have... Mark, it's okay. I like it. His ears perk up and he cocks his head curiously. Really? I rub his head, muzzing up his mane. Yes, but you're my friend first and foremost. I want to take things slowly and get to know you better before we move the goalposts and any further. Yes, I'd like that. I kiss him on the forehead and give him a hug. I haven't felt this way about someone in a long time. Sure. There's like electricity in the air. The thrill of not knowing where this will lead. The sweet moment is interrupted with the sound of a growling stomach. Gosh darn it! It's always the stomach. Marks this time. He chuckles and rubs his belly. Guess it's about that time again. I'd say we worked up an appetite. He reaches behind him and grabs a phone, the thick coiled cable hanging around his shoulders like one of Simon's feather boas. I think I'll take a note of your book. Pizza? I love you! We laugh and order a large pie to go with our drinks. We spend the rest of the night recounting our day between greasy bites of dough and polish off that bottle of wine before cracking out open a second. I never expected Mark to be so forward. Maybe it comes with the times. I'm used to assuming most men are off the table strictly for my own safety. I suddenly feel a lot more at ease knowing I can be myself while staying with Mark. As I finish up my third slice, I cough awkwardly to get his attention. His mid-bite, a long string of cheese connecting his snout to a half-eaten slice. Yes? How did you know? What, that I was a homosexual? Hearing the phrase said so casually made me instinctively look around as if someone could be eavesdropping on us. Well, yes, from the way those cops talked to us earlier, it doesn't seem like people are any more open-minded here than where I'm from. He leans back, taking a deep sip of wine before continuing. Well, you're right. Things could be much better in that department. It's not like I could get away with anything romantic with another man in public. We have our hideaways here, should you know where to look. Yeah, but when did you know it was something fleeting? Probably my sophomore year in college. I know, it's cliche. Extremely. I was in an all-male dorm in Princeton. When you're away from home for the first time and everyone is curious about things, let's just say we had a special sort of bond. It became somewhat of a ritual. We even had a secret knock. Some of us came away cured of our curiosities, while the others, like myself, were still hungry for more. Jeez, I can't help but be a little jealous. I had private tutoring at the estate, so I never get to hang out with anyone my age during those years. But you know what I say, possums make do. And those lucky farmhands will hopefully take the secrets of those passionate nights up to their graves. Ooh, okay, sir. You have something to say to us too? So you got to experiment in a somewhat safe environment then? He nods gleefully, scratching his chin while likely recounting one of his many escapades. Thankfully, yes. After it was all said and done, it was clear that women just weren't for me. Men were. I see. I'm up at as much as simple path for you. Yeah! I mean, wasn't there a day where it all just clicked for you? I tug at my collar nervously. I'm not exactly done figuring it out yet, actually. I'm not just gay. That word just doesn't feel accurate. He leans in interested. Ooh, do tell. So in other words, you're bisexual, dude. In other words, that type of sexuality is not yet conjured up. I blush, somehow more embarrassed about talking about this than kissing him. Well, you know, I've dated women before. Been intimate with them the whole 9 yards. Even fell in love with one. He nods, his tone still respectful. I see. So you like both men and women. That's gonna be convenient. Twice the options. I shake my head, failing to find the words. I blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. Mark, I like everything. He's Pan! He's a Pan! There's an awkward pause before he erupts in laughter. I cover my head in shame as his cause turns into rough coughs, pushing it down with more drink. Mark! Yeah, sorry. That got me off guard. I don't really understand what you mean, though. He holds up a throw pillow, wiggling its bottom half to mimic a seductive woman's strut. You're saying that you'd fall in love with this pillow if you fancied it? Or a particularly coquettish oak tree, perhaps? He stifles a giggle and I slap the pill out of his hand. No, wise guy. What I mean is, when I fancy someone, I don't really care what they're bringing to the table, if that makes sense. He gingerly places the pillow back to the couch, affectionately patting it before turning his attention back to downstairs, you mean? I nod. There was a time where I thought this world was pretty black and white. Men, women, pick one and move on with your life, right? But one day I pondered something. If there was someone in between, or maybe, I don't know, a girl who really wanted to be a boy and did everything in her power to become a he, trans, would that really change anything if I loved them for who they are? He pauses to think for a bit, choosing his words carefully. I've seen such a person. Well, plenty of them, really. In those hideaways I mentioned earlier, you'll find society's rejects congregating and making the most out of the strange life they were given. I sit up in amazement. Sure that I had been speaking purely in fictional terms. Really? Mm-hmm. I was shocked too at first. But down at Christopher Street, pretty much anything is possible. Gays, lesbian, transsexuals, everyone's managed to find someone who accepts them. So while I've never met someone quite like you, I guaranteed you're not alone. Maybe there's a word for it. Maybe not. There is! I beam ear to ear. Finally, a dash of hope hidden away in this bizarre future. I take his hand and place it on my chest. A gentle thumping of my heart resonating tight with his pulse. Mark, you don't know how happy I am to hear that. Oh, I'm glad. For a long time I thought I was just some deviant. Someone who would take whatever they could get. But even knowing there's one place in the world where another person like me could exist gives me hope that I am not a freak, you know. He smiles and gently pets my chest. But for the record, I never thought of you as a freak. Not for that reason anyway. I ignore the drunken humor and press on. Next time you visit one of these places, can I go with you? Maybe there's someone who will know what to even call it. It would be nice to have a word, eh? A little. Is that weird? It's not like I wake up every morning, eat my eggs and think, by golly, I'm gay! Or anything. Sure, it was nice to have a foundation when I was still figuring it out. But trust me, it's not essential to the experience to live and die by the textbook definition of your identity. When you put it that way, it does sound a little bleak. I guess I'm just happy that I don't have to worry about defining it anymore. And I can close the book to that chapter. Exactly! Besides, a word is just a word and nothing more. At the end of the day, no one term can truly define who you are as an individual, Josh. Great. Oh, that's what I said. He chuckles and cups up a wine burp before he takes our glasses over to the sink. In the little time gone by, Mark was now able to laugh at the bumps along the way. His smile lights up the room and I feel that warm, safe feeling wash over me again. I just needed contact, that's all. Anyone who's in this position would be a little off sometimes after we lost Sam as well. Well, none of us were ever the same. You could say I'm balls to the wall, if you know what I mean. He comes back and cozy at me, yawning. He nods his my chest and I gently stroke his mane. The both of us are pleasantly buzzed and it seems like a good time to start winding things down for the evening. This might have been one of the best days of my life. Even if things are uncertain and scary at times, if he's here with me, things will be alright. I'm starting to drift off with him still on top of me. He's falling asleep, rising and falling in time with breathing. Ah, damn, we never made it to the bed. Oh well. Another night on the couch won't kill me. And after that, boom! Nightmare! Hello everybody, it's me, Cookie. Thanks for watching the video. But I want to thank my regular and happy cookies for their generous donations to my Patreon. And a super shout out to my super generous thirsty cookies, who are
Jamie, Levan, Corey Smith, June K, Dennis, Glacier Wolf, J_Choi, Ballistic Gamer, Beru, LL, XX High Finest 96732, Random, Nick Morales, and Jupiter and Daisy.
Hugs and kisses to everyone who generously donated and supported the channel. Become a Patreon so you can watch more extra content and unfiltered videos. See you in the next video. Bye-bye!